Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to the Steel City Sports Report, where we talk everything Steelers, Penguins, and Pirates. I am your host, Brady Vini. Hope you all had a fantastic weekend, because I know that our Pittsburgh sports teams did. We are going to talk about what all went down within the past couple of days, including Aaron Rodgers officially in Pittsburgh. He put pen to paper on Saturday, officially on his one-year contract. Also going to be talking about, the baseball team, a sweep of the Philadelphia Phillies in the Commonwealth Clash. The Bucks sweeping the Philadelphia Phillies for the first time since 2015, playing good baseball under manager Donnie Kelly. Also going to be talking about a whole lot else that is going on, including some potential additions in the NFL free agency cycle now that could become Steelers, including one massive one that was just added to the market this morning. Also, we'll sprinkle in a little bit of Pittsburgh Penguins talk as well. We will hear from new head coach, that is, Dan Muse, for the first time on Wednesday. Of course, the NHL draft scouting combine is going on right now. It'll be Dan Muse and Kyle Dubas. They will speak for the first time as the new power tandem for the Penguins organization, and we'll get to any other little loose news stories that we so happen to come across. First thing is first, if you are new here, please subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications so that you never miss when I am live again. Also, feel free to like and share this video and pop any comments, questions, concerns, whatever is on your mind in the live comment section. I can pop those up on the screen at a moment's notice, and we can interact that way. We are going to kick things off here today with the official news that Aaron Rodgers is in Pittsburgh. He put pen to paper on his contract. Like I said on Saturday, it was Jerry Dulac who was the first to report that Rodgers was there at the facility here. Let me see. Yes, they're right here. Here it is. There's the picture right there for all you fine folks. Dulac stating that no more false sightings. Aaron Rodgers has arrived in town to sign his Steelers contract. Ashley Leotis of KDK, I believe, she was the first to report that Rodgers entered the building, the front of the building this time. No sneaking around through back doors, flying into different airports other than Pittsburgh International, driving, Chevy Malibus and all that are rentals. Walked in the door at 8:19, was greeted by General Manager Omar Khan. I believe I even saw a picture of an Aaron Rodgers reserved parking spot there. So the Steelers not messing around here, making sure all the T's are crossed and I's are dotted for their new quarterback. Adam Schefter, he was the first to break the specifics on the Aaron Rodgers contract. We talked a little bit about it on Monday. Jerry Dulac, he was, I think, also on top of that. The deal was around the $10 million range, and it had some incentives in it, but it wasn't going to go above $20 million. The official contract numbers here from Adam Schefter is that it is a 1 year, $13.65 million contract with $10 million guaranteed. It has a maximum value of $19.5 million. The deal includes $5.85 million worth of playtime and team performance incentives. So a good chunk of change there that Rodgers is getting guaranteed. It's right on the money of what he said on the Pat McAfee show a couple of months ago when he first came out, that, hey, he was dealing with some, family and issues and some issues with people close to him. He said that he'd play for $10 million, that it wasn't about the money. This deal proves it. A $10 million guaranteed deal, and still $5.85 million. That is a pretty good payday there that he is going to be working towards as well, trying to get that here with hopefully a good year with the team. Also, it was made official, Rodgers will be wearing number 8. Worn, of course, by Tommy Maddox and some other quarterback whose name I'm forgetting right now, but Rodgers will wear number 8. Punter Corliss Waitman giving up the number 8. He will switch to number 3, which was worn by Russell Wilson last year. So that's quite a turnaround there for those particular sets of numbers. Kenny Pickett, of course, wearing number 8 before. It gets given to a punter and Corliss Waitman. Now it's to Aaron Rodgers. Russell Wilson's number last year, number 3, that now goes to the punter. And, of course, Justin Fields is number 2. He was just holding it, keeping it warm for a year for Mason Rudolph to make his return. Before Rodgers left the building on Saturday, Brooke Pryor, Steelers beat reporter for ESPN, she said that Rodgers will talk to the media for the first time as a Steeler after Tuesday's mandatory minicamp. So minicamp opens up tomorrow. Probably, if I had to guess, around 2 o'clock in the afternoon is when we will first hear what Rodgers has to say after signing with the Steelers. I bet you there is going to be a ton of personnel there, media members who usually aren't there that much for these kinds of things. You're probably looking at close to double the media personnel at this minicamp tomorrow, just because Rodgers is such a high-profile guy. Also, it's not like Rodgers isn't getting involved in Pittsburgh already. He was at Cam Hayward's golf event here today. Let me see if I can pop that up real quick. There's a picture right there. So he is not going to just, stay at his home and stay inside doing whatever he's doing. Rodgers was with DK Metcalf, so that's another, person crossed off the list of if he will probably show up to minicamp tomorrow. DK Metcalf and Aaron Rodgers at Cam Hayward's Irons for Impact golf outing. That was at Sewickley Heights Golf Club here today. So the two who have worked together throughout this offseason with the speculation of Rodgers signing will now officially get together as Steelers tomorrow. There is some other news regarding Aaron Rodgers, some that does not pertain to him being here with DK Metcalf and, him signing his deal. Adam Schefter, he continued to drop some major news on Aaron Rodgers yesterday, I believe, saying that Rodgers was number 3. He was the third option for the Steelers this offseason. First off, he said that the Steelers had heavy interest in trading for Matthew Stafford for a couple of weeks there back when the offseason first began. We remember Matthew Stafford. He had some contract issues he was wanting to work out with the LA Rams, including, him possibly leaving. Cooper Kupp ended up leaving there. Quite the bit of turnover out there in Los Angeles for the Rams. Well, Matthew Stafford was number 1 on the Steelers' priority list, and that, of course, didn't get done. It was sort of like what we saw with Brandon Ayuk, Steelers being used as just a name in negotiations. After that, option number 2, Schefter says, was Justin Fields. So Super Bowl champion Matthew Stafford was number 1. He stays with the Rams after brief tiny bit of, rumors that he was going to be on the Steelers' radar. Steelers then pivoted to Justin Fields, but apparently they didn't think that price tag, I believe it was 1 or 2 year deal worth up to $30 million for Justin Fields. They apparently did not have any interest in doing that deal. And now they their last option here was Aaron Rodgers. So thought that was interesting. Rodgers was not at the top of their priority list in terms of bringing in quarterbacks there. And honestly, that would have changed the whole trajectory of the offseason there. Matthew Stafford, he would have been a game changer. I think he would have made the Steelers a Super Bowl contender because I think he still got a lot of good football left in him. How he would transition, going from Detroit, which was a dome stadium, to sunny Los Angeles, where you're also playing in a dome, I guess is what you would call SoFi Stadium, to now playing outdoors in frigid Pittsburgh in the winter. I don't know how that would have worked out, but it would have, made the Steelers, I think, more of a threat in the eyes of the public. And then Justin Fields, still some upside for him at 25 years old, though they couldn't get a deal done there. Interested to hear what you guys thought on that little tidbit there from Adam Schefter, that Rodgers was the third option and possibly the last resort for the Steelers this offseason. They liked Matthew Stafford and Justin Fields more. Let's go to the comment section real quick. Chad Schrader is back in the house. What's up, Chad? Sup? Now we got Rodgers and we get Jair Alexander or get Watt done. I'm going to talk about Jair Alexander right now. I'm glad you brought that up there, Chad. So that was what else I wanted to talk about today. An update on potential Steelers acquisitions. News came down first today from Ian Rappaport that the Packers released former Pro Bowl corner Jair Alexander. Give me 1 second here as I get that post from Schefter all popped up on here for you fine folks. And right there it is. So that is the tweet right there from Ian Rappaport, that coming across at 8:07 in the morning today. Rappaport would say later that Alexander agreed to explore a potential trade this spring while a restructured contract was also discussed. In the end, Green Bay and Alexander moved on with a clean break. So instead of the Steelers, if they do have interest in him possibly sending, who knows, a day 2 pick to the Packers to get Alexander, he is now on the open market. I also saw something that Adam Schefter said the Bills were the most active in trade talks for Alexander, but nothing could get completed. So the Bills are definitely in on Jair Alexander. But I wonder, Aaron Rodgers, now a Steeler, could he potentially lure one of his former teammates here into Pittsburgh? I would love it. I know people are going to say, but, you got Joey Porter Jr., we also got Darius Slay, Corey Trice, we brought in Brandon Eccles. I don't care. At this point, just get as many good players as you can. It's one of those situations you rather have too much of a good thing than not enough. So if you can get Jair Alexander, I'd be thrilled with that. Also, I think highly of Darius Slay, but we got to keep in mind he's 34 years old. Now he is playing, what he did last year in Philadelphia. That's him playing well above the performance standard of a 34-year-old corner. But again, 34 years old. He has got to be teetering on the edge, I think, in my mind and in a lot of minds, to where he could possibly have a major drop-off. And then if he does have that major drop-off, then you're left with Joey Porter Jr., who's still growing in this league. And then who's going to be on the other side? Corey Trice, who's still got a lot of proof. Brandon Eccles, who is, an average at best pickup. So, Jair Alexander, if you can get him at a reasonable price, I'm doing that all day long. Also, just some other things that we got going on, talking about some other potential additions for the Steelers. Quick update on Gabe Davis, the wide receiver, former Buffalo Bill and Jacksonville Jaguar. This was yesterday from Rappaport. He's on his way to New Orleans to visit with the Saints. The Saints down there, I think they got 2 half-decent wide receivers in, Chris Olave and Brandon Cooks. Not sure why they would have that much interest in Gabe Davis. And honestly, if I'm Gabe Davis, I don't know why I'd have that much interest in going to New Orleans unless they are just going to pay him a boatload of money, because Tyler Shuck, Spencer Rattler, Jake Haener as your quarterback room. Yikes. But Rappaport saying that he will visit with the Saints, and that did mention that Davis also visited the Steelers. I think the Saints will now make a 4th team that he will visit, Gabe Davis, that is. and he still has yet to find a deal. Maybe he comes back around to the Steelers, but we know that, things like that are unlikely. Also, another update here from Steelers or NFL trade rumors. People are still talking about Terry McLaurin. NFL rumors saying the Steelers are reportedly monitoring the contract situation with Commanders wide receiver Terry McLaurin. I feel like I have to bring this up, even though I don't want to, because it is just such a impossibility in my mind. Terry McLaurin, he's holding out for money at this point. He's upset at how contract negotiations are going down there in Washington. But let's not get fooled, and let's not have the Brandon Ayuk situation have a replay of that here again. A deal's going to get done. McLaurin, why would he want to leave Washington, a team on the rise, with quite possibly a top 5 quarterback already in this league in Jayden Daniels? And why would the Commanders want to get rid of their top receiving option and, set their offense back a little bit? I mean, you got the quarterback, but still, Deebo Samuel, who's been a, injury glass player the past year or so, you can't have that be your wide receiver one. So, talking about Terry McLaurin, if you see anything else on it, I'm just going to probably ignore it for now, because we know that that's most likely not going to happen. Last potential, update on a Steeler acquisition. This one actually has no chance of happening because a deal has already been done, but this feels like pretty relevant information. Ari Mirov this morning said that the New England Patriots and our Pittsburgh Steelers, they pursued Tampa Bay Buccaneers wide receiver Chris Godwin quite heavily in free agency to begin the offseason. Mirov also stating that New England offered $30 million per year on a multi-year deal for Godwin. So I assume that the Steelers, they were around that range as well. Ultimately, Godwin, he remained in Tampa, signing a $22 million per year deal. But Steelers, at the time, I think they might have had DK Metcalf at that time. I want to say that the Metcalf trade, that happened a night or two before free agency opened. So the Steelers, they were looking to add Chris Godwin as well. And at the time, you had Metcalf and George Pickens. That could have changed a whole lot of how this offseason would have gone. You get Chris Godwin, maybe George Pickens is traded before the draft. Maybe you use a draft pick on another wide receiver in the draft, and you don't have someone like a Jack Sawyer or whatever. Just insane of how the Steelers were that close to getting Chris Godwin as well. But ultimately, him and his family decided to stay in Tampa. 7 of you in here right now. If you are new to the channel, please subscribe and turn on notifications so that you never miss when I am live again. Also, like and share this stream, and we can get the viewership up in here more and more, up to 403 subscribers, recently breaking 400 subscribers on the channel. So I thank you very, very much. Get any questions, concerns, thoughts that you may have in the comment section, and I can pop those up at a moment's notice. In the meantime, gonna keep on rolling here through the news over the weekend. And one of the bigger news stories over the weekend, the Pittsburgh Pirates. How about it? Under manager Don Kelly, they are playing damn good baseball, I would say, because they swept the Philadelphia Phillies for the first time since 2015. Gonna start with the Friday game here, the series opener. It was another game that started in a delay. First pitch was at 8:03, an hour 23-minute rain delay. I wish it would stop raining here in Western Pennsylvania. If you're from around here, you know it's getting frustrating to have rain damn near every single day. Anyway, starting off the game, Phillies got on the board early in the first inning. Nick Castellanos brought home Trey Turner, who I believe he hit a double, and then he stole third, pretty uncontested. Trey Turner, he is an absolute speed demon on the base pads. Nick Gonzalez, in the bottom of the first, he got that run right back with a little bit of help from Brian Reynolds. Gonzalez hit a triple, and then Brian Reynolds singled. That tied up the ball game. A bit of a weird situation happened. Endy Rodriguez was catching that game. I believe it was Bailey Falter on the mound. Rodriguez went to throw the ball down to second. You know how catchers practice their, throwdowns for possible steals in the game. Rodriguez threw the ball down, was like shaking his arm a little bit. He left the game. That is something very concerning, especially seeing how Rodriguez's last major injury was I guess you would consider it Tommy John, but for position players. So he got removed from the game. Henry Davis came in, and Hank, he ended up doing pretty well. Snapped an 0 for 16 skid by belting a 2-run home run. The game was 4-2 Phillies at the time. Hank hits a 2-run shot. That tied up the ball game. Bucks kept the game tied until the bottom of the 9th inning. Isaiah Kiner-Falefa with 2 on and nobody out got a perfect bunt down the left field line. It stayed fair. Bases were loaded. O'Neal Cruz ended up striking out, but Nick Gonzalez hit a walk-off sacrifice fly to the warning track in left field. Bucks take game 1, 5-4. After the game, just a roster update that we got. Rodriguez, he was put on the 10-day IL with an elbow injury. What exactly what we expected. Also, left-handed pitcher, Joey Wentz was designated for assignment. Right-handed pitcher Isaac Matson and catcher Brett Sullivan, who will be making his Pirates debut tonight, were recalled. Game 2 Saturday evening, Kyle Schwarber got things going. A home run hit over the fence in left field, the deepest part of the yard. That made it 1-0. Nick Gonzalez again for the second game in a row. He had a first inning triple. Andrew McCutchen drove him in with a base hit. That made it 1-1. And then the injury bug struck again. Andrew Heaney goes out there. He was warming up, seemed like he was stretching out his left leg a bit. Through one pitch, the ball went way wide to the backstop, and he left the game with what was described as left calf cramping. No IL stint for him. That is very, very good to hear. He's been quite good recently. So he exited the ball game. Henry Davis, again, striking. He is on a tear right now, Hank Davis. I think we all are very, very happy that things are panning out for him right now. Another home run, solo home run to the deepest part of the ballpark, just like Kyle Schwarber in the first inning, number 4 on the season for him. And that's all it took. 2-1 was the final score. David Bednar, he came in and shut things down in the 9th inning. He might be back as well. And great game all around there for the Bucks. Game 3 was yesterday afternoon. Jared Triolo, he ripped a double into right center. Key Brian Hayes beat the throw home. It was 1-0 Bucks at the time. Bucks get the first the first lead of the ball game for the first time in that series. The catcher Rafael Marchand, I was trying to figure out how to pronounce his last name right there, trying not to say Marchand like the hockey player. But anyways, a double to right for him. That scored a run. Of course, a throwing error by the Bucks didn't help either. 1-1. Paul Skeens pitching into the 7th inning. Got 2 quick outs in the 7th inning, but left the ball game. Lots of people were wondering, why the hell did Donnie Kelly just take Paul Skeens out? He was 1 out away from getting out of the 8th inning with possibly the game tied with a chance to win it. But later it was revealed he and Donnie Kelly already talked about it beforehand. Skeens was out of gas. He had enough for just 1 or 2 more batters at most. So he left 7 2/3 innings pitched, just 2 hits, 1 run, 1 walk, 7 Ks for Skeens. Braxton Ashcraft, he came in, got the last out of that inning. Andrew McCutchen comes through with a base knock. O'Neal Cruz, who stumbled a bit, came around to score. That made it 2-1 in the bottom of the 8th. Ashcraft then went back out there, got the final 3 outs, and that completed the sweep. A 2-1 victory in Game 3 for the Bucks. Great stuff all around in this series. Another thing, update on Paul Skeens, who is still on a Cy Young pace this year. 14 starts now for him on the year. A 1.88 ERA, 91 innings pitched, 92 strikeouts. 56 hits allowed. And he is the only pitcher in the modern era to match or better each of those stats through their first 14 starts of the season since Justin Verlander in 2018. So Paul Skeens doing Paul Skeens things. I think he's going to win the Cy Young this year. All he needs to do is get that win total up because apparently, those are more of a pitcher statistic than, what actually matters there. So good series there from the Bucks. Every game was watchable. There wasn't any part of the series where you felt that they were getting completely outmatched. They start a new series tonight. First pitch actually here in about 40 minutes. Mike Burrows will be on the mound. A little shocked that it's not Bubba Chandler. He hasn't been called up yet, but hey, Mike Burrows, good outing in his last game. I believe he went 5 1/3 of scoreless or 1-run ball. So he's earned another start for now. He'll pitch tonight. Mitch Keller tomorrow night at 6:40, and then Bailey Falter will have a Wednesday afternoon game at 12:35. The lineup tonight for the Bucks: O'Neal Cruz will lead off in center field. Andrew McCutchen DHing. Brian Reynolds in right field. Spencer Horwitz bats cleanup at first base. He's back in the lineup after 2 games off. Nick Gonzalez at second base, batting 5th. Adam Frazier gets the start in left field tonight. No Tommy Pham or Alexander Canario out there. So Frazier, I believe that might be the first, if not, the second or third time this year that he is going to play in left field, period. He bats 6th. Ke'Bryan Hayes in the 7-hole at third base per usual. Brett Sullivan, like I said, will make his Pirates debut here tonight, catching Mike Burrows. He will bat 8th. Jared Triolo in the 9-hole at shortstop. An off night for Isaiah Kiner-Falefa, who's been on a tear recently. And the last thing I will mention here on the Bucks, we did get an injury update yesterday from Ben Cherington. He hosts a weekend radio show from time to time, really when he feels like it, because when the Bucks suck and he has to face accountability, he doesn't do it. Anyway, gave an injury update on some players. Said that Endy Rodriguez, the initial takeaway was that it is not a ligament issue. So whatever was bugging Endy Rodriguez, thankfully, it has nothing to do with his ligament. It's not the same injury as it was before, which honestly probably would have been a pretty good blow to the future of his baseball career. So nothing too bad with Endy Rodriguez. Hopefully he's going to get checked out by Dr. Neil Elatrosh, a surgeon, later on, possibly. So still on the 10-day IL. Hopefully things go better for him. Dari Moreta, he is scheduled to come off the 60-day IL pretty soon. He's still down in AAA trying to accumulate innings. He could be back with the team sooner rather than later. Great to have Money Moreta back here in the near future. Johan Oviedo still down in Bradenton throwing live bullpens. He will be getting into games here hopefully soon. That is the next step in his rehab process. And the last big injury update, Joey Bart, who was running bases over the weekend, trying to come back from a concussion he's been dealing with, hasn't cleared every hurdle yet, according to Ben Cherington. He will need to do so to get out of concussion protocol. So that does it for the Bucko news. For right now, we will get into more once that comes up. Let me take a quick stroll here through Twitter, see if we have anything new going on in the Twitterverse going on here. Any new news? Interesting. Just seeing something here that I will bring up here later on in the show. Seeing more and more stuff going on. Of course, another thing that, I'm not going to talk about just because I don't know too much of it. I'm going to see a lot of it. Pittsburgh getting ready to host some major golf tournament at Oakmont here in this week. So not seeing that's taken up a lot of my feed as well. Still looking here, not seeing a ton here, so we are going to keep things moving here. Let's talk about the Pittsburgh Penguins here just for a quick minute. Not too much going on with them, but what we do know is that head coach Dan Muse will speak for the first time as the Penguins bench boss here on Wednesday. He and Kyle Dubas will appear together. If I had to guess, that is probably going to be wherever the NHL scouting combine is taking place. Kyle Dubas talking about potential moves that the Bucks are going to that the Pens are going to make as well. Seems like what I'm seeing, we're going to get some action here before not too long, and a lot of new high potential young players could be coming to the team. Two things that I want to bring up is that just off of various articles I've been reading from DK Pittsburgh Sports, NHL Rumor Report, and all that, is that the Penguins, they're going to go hunting for a big game, young, high potential player. And we've heard a couple of names now. Of course, NHL insiders, they've been throwing out a bunch of names who could be on the move. One that I think isn't going to be on the move anymore is JJ Peterka from the Buffalo Sabres, but just spitballing here, Marco Rossi from the Minnesota Wild. He is one of them here. Hang on. In the meantime, let me bring up some of their profiles here. If I can find it. There we go. All right, 1 second here, folks. Am I losing internet connection here? Hopefully not. All right, here we go. Share screen. Here we go. So one of the prospects here, Marco Rossi, center from the Minnesota Wild. He is being mentioned as one potential player on the move this offseason. Another one here, if we want to look at defensemen, I think what the Pens should do, they need to bring in a nice young left shot defenseman, Bowen Byram, a former high draft pick of the Colorado Avalanche. He's available too. He's currently with the Buffalo Sabres as well. Another one here. Not that one. What's his name? Here it is. Brant Clark from the Los Angeles Kings. He is another one. Right shot defenseman, though. If I'm the Penguins, I don't want to bring in any left shot or any right shot defenseman. You got Letang. He'll be here for another year or two, I think. Besides, you got Harrison Brunick, who I don't want to block him in any sorts of ways. Also, another one that I saw here from Nick Caprios is that the Penguins are looking into Vegas defenseman Nick Hague. Nicholas Hague right here, Vegas Golden Knights defenseman. This is probably my favorite acquisition that I want the Pens to make this offseason. Just 26 years old, 6'6", 245 pounds. Need a big defenseman here to help sturdy this weak defense right now that blew a lot of assignments and gave up a lot of goals. And I think this guy could be a hell of a pickup here. Also, he will pick up the slack of what you lost in the Ryan Graves investment as well. So hopefully that all gets done. Hopefully we get something good here going. Still going to hold on to the pipe dream of getting Mitch Marner, though I think that is pretty impossible at this point. But that's it for Penguins news for the most part. Just still in the slow point of the NHL offseason. We see this in all the sports where it's like a dead period once, the finals and championship games are going on in the league. There's sort of like a quietness before we get some more big breaking news. The NHL draft and free agency, that's when business will start to pick up in the hockey world. But until then, we will monitor every little bit that we can. 4 of you in here right now. If you are new, please subscribe to the channel so that you never miss when I am live again. Also, feel free to like and share this stream and get any comments that you have in the comment section, just like Chad Schrader right here. Thank you, Chad, for stopping by here today. Now we are going to get into our more Pittsburgh sports news segment of the program, and kind of going to hop all around here. First things first, back to the football world. Aaron Rodgers, the signing, this was, I think I saw right before I went live here today. The Rodgers signing is officially official on the NHL or the NFL transaction wire page. The Aaron Rodgers signing officially popped up on there. So no turning back now. Aaron Rodgers is the Pittsburgh Steelers quarterback. Speaking of Rodgers, Deshaun Elliott, we were going to wait here to see if this possibly would have, was possibly going to get addressed tomorrow, but Deshaun Elliott, he seems to be getting now ahead of the curve here. Elliott, whether it's joking or not, he has said some pretty interesting things about Aaron Rodgers on social media. Elliott, I remember seeing a Instagram comment from him saying for Rodgers to, quote, leave his ass in the old folks' home. Another video of him, I'm not sure if he is with the Ravens here or not, popped up of him saying the way he carries himself, I don't like none of that crap. A-Rod doesn't respect us. So Deshaun Elliott, he said some pretty scathing things about Aaron Rodgers, whether it's in a joking sense or not. But anyway, wanted to get out ahead of it today. ML Football was the one who brought all of this stuff back up today, posting about Elliott and what all he said about Rodgers. Elliott responded saying, man, quit spreading negativity. So not sure if that's Deshaun backtracking what he said before or, just trying to have fun with it, knowing that he's joking about what he said about Rodgers. We saw pictures in the past of him and Aaron together. I think it was, someplace, not on a football field, someplace, where the two were together by happenstance or not, probably a rehabilitation center for injuries that they were dealing with. But be interesting to see if that comes up tomorrow after the first day of minicamp. Some other news that I'm sure will come up tomorrow at minicamp will be if TJ Watt shows up or not. Not sure if he's going to get fined or not about it. He didn't show up at all for the voluntary OTA section of the offseason program. And with mandatory minicamp starting tomorrow, be interesting to see if he shows up. But Ian Rappaport, he was on the Pat McAfee show today, and he said that he does believe that a TJ Watt deal is going to happen with the Steelers. It just hasn't happened yet. Pretty much saying nothing new from what we are currently expecting, which is Watt's probably going to either not show up or do the bare minimum until probably around training camp, maybe even a couple preseason games into, before the regular season starts, and then he'll get a deal done. So I believe that's it for football news. No, two other things on football news. These aren't related to the Steelers, but at least they are two names that have done a little bit of damage to the Steelers in recent years that the Steelers will not need to deal with anymore. Running back Nick Chubb, former Cleveland Brown, he officially signed today, but it was reported that he was signing yesterday with the Houston Texans on a one-year deal. He's gone. I don't think the Steelers play the Texans this year. He will not need to haunt the Steelers anymore because he has been one of the biggest Steeler killers of them all. Also, this one just happened this morning. The Bengals, who are struggling mightily on defense, decided to gut their defense that much more. They have released linebacker Jermaine Pratt. It saves them $5.6 million in cap space. Also, they drafted two linebackers in the draft. One of them, Demetrius Knight Jr. There was another one that they drafted. Might have been Barrett Carter from Clemson, if I can remember correctly. But anyways, just boggles my mind. They are going to score 40 points a game, but when they give up 50, and they wonder why, I think we can all easily point it out. They get rid of one of their veterans on that defense, and it's not like they're doing well in other aspects of the defense as well. They're still pissing off their top defensive player in edge rusher Trey Hendrickson, and also who knows what the hell is going on with their first pick in Shamar Stewart, who still hasn't signed his rookie deal. So that officially does it for the football news. We can all point and laugh at the Bengals here a little bit. Back to baseball. Some exciting news just happened yesterday, ladies and gentlemen. We've been waiting for this news a little bit. If you're a diehard Pittsburgh Pirates fan, Connor Griffin, he is officially beginning his climb up the ranks in the Pittsburgh Pirates farm system. He will be moving up one level in single-A ball from Bradenton Marauders to the Greensboro Grasshoppers. There is Connor Griffin right there. The news was first reported by Chase Ford, who is kind of across, minor league baseball. He reports a ton of call-ups that happened. Griffin so far this year with the Bradenton Marauders, a .338 batting average, 21 extra base hits, and 26 stolen bases, all of that in 50 single-A games. Also, has 9 homers, just an unbelievable prospect. And what makes me even more happy that it's not him getting called up, honestly, him just going up to Greensboro pisses me off kind of, because I think he's a guy who could, climb up 2 divisions a year. I would have just sent him straight up to Double-A Altoona, not too far from where I live. Honestly, would go watch him before I probably go watch the, big league team. So a little upset that he isn't going straight to Altoona, but at least from what we've seen so far, he is immune, I guess is the word I'm looking for. He hasn't fallen into the trap or regressed under the tutelage of the Ben Cherington regime. I think it's not too crazy to view him as a Mike Trout prospect. Just unlike Trout, he's going to get to the big leagues a year or two later. But good news, Connor Griffin beginning the climb up the big league, up to the big leagues here. Hopefully he reaches there before not too long. I think he could, I guarantee you, at 19 years old right now, if you were to put him on the big league team, he wouldn't be any worse than Tommy Pham or Jared Triolo or Key Brian Hayes with the bat. So hopefully he continues that climb very quickly. Also, he's not alone moving up to high A ball. Off outfielder Will Taylor, he also will go up to Greensboro with him. He's hitting .333 with 15 extra base hits as well. So some movement in the pipeline. Griffin, come on, get to Pittsburgh sooner rather than later. Also, Cherington, just make the call up for Bubba Chandler already. He's got nothing left to prove in AAA, so let's get things rolling here. What do you have left to lose this season? Because the season is already lost. Last bit of news here on the baseball front. MLB Deadline News posted this yesterday. I'm not going to take it too seriously quite yet because it's not from one of these major MLB insiders, but honestly, it wouldn't surprise me if this is the case. They are saying utility man Isaiah Kiner-Falefa is trading a lot of trade interest. IKF this season, batting as the number 9 hitter in the lineup. He has been an excellent table setter for the Bucks, for the top of the order. O'Neal Cruz, Brian Reynolds, Andrew McCutchen, hitting .304 this year. Just has 1 home run, 14 RBIs as well, and 9 stolen bases, a .732 OPS. At this point, we've been hard on IKF before, but give him an extension rather than trade him away, because I don't think you're going to put, anything better than him at shortstop right now. Shortstop, even though it's probably his worst position as a utility guy, he's settled down there really well. From the beginning of the year, he was very sketchy at that position, but he's been so much better defensive-wise. The bat's been pretty good. And like I said, who else are you going to put there? You're going to call up Nick York, who isn't, flashing all that well right now. Liover Peguero, you can say that you have, faith in him, but you've clearly showed it by not giving him a shot in the big leagues. Nick Gonzalez, he's your second baseman. And even if you were to move Gonzalez to shortstop, it's not like you're going to see a ton, production from anyone else who comes up and replaces him. So I'm all for re-signing Isaiah Kiner-Falefa. Besides, you don't know what else is going to happen at other positions. Is Key Brian Hayes going to get moved? If so, you need a third baseman who can hit. I know lots of people were going to say Jared Triolo there, but him with the bat hasn't been all that fruitful thus far. So we will see what goes down here with the trade deadline getting closer and closer. One last story here on the hockey front has nothing to do with the Penguins, but maybe it'll have something to do with them here about this time a year from now. Gavin McKenna, who is the top prospect, really a generational prospect. He will be the number one guy in the 2026 NHL draft. He will play hockey next year, per Elliot Friedman, in college with the top school likely to land him, Penn State. So, not too far from Pittsburgh, actually, more closer to Philadelphia than it is Pittsburgh, I believe. But hey, you get Gavin McKenna here to Pennsylvania. Let him, get used to how we do things here in Appalachia, America. And maybe the Penguins, who I think are still going to be a team much, probably improved, but still rebuilding. They could have a shot at Gavin McKenna next year in the draft lottery. And if the Pens get that number one overall pick, they won't need to travel too far to scout a guy that they should take. And honestly, it's highly unlikely that Gavin McKenna will become a Pittsburgh Penguin right out of the draft, but I can't just help but think about how Mario Lemieux, which, by the way, happy anniversary to us Penguins fans, on this day in 1984, the Penguins, they changed the trajectory of their franchise forever, taking Lemieux 1 overall. But I can't help but continue to think about Lemieux in the back end of his career, switching things over, handing things over to Sidney Crosby, grooming him along for about half a season there. Maybe Crosby, he could do something similar here for Gavin McKenna if he is a Penguin in 2026 and beyond. Just wrapping up the news here for today. I guess I'll start with this hockey story. It has nothing to do with the Penguins, and honestly, I hated this guy for not a lot of his career, but for a good bit of his career, just because he was a Washington Capital and he was a bit of an ass and a pain in the ass for the Penguins. But I respect him, and also will never forget what he did for Team USA in the 2014 Olympics. Congratulations, TJ Oshie. He just 31 minutes ago, this posted by the NHL, is retiring from hockey. Played over 1,000 regular season games, also a Stanley Cup champion. So congratulations, TJ Oshie, on a heck of a career. Going to be a lot of congratulations here to wrap up today's live stream. Congratulations to Steelers tight end Pat Freiermuth. He got engaged over the weekend to his fiance. New quarterback for him also gets to put a ring on the finger of his lady. Hopefully he will get to put another ring on his finger here before too long, that being a Super Bowl. Happy birthday to Pittsburgh Pirate Dave Parker, the legendary Cobra. Celebrates his birthday today. Hall of Famer, both in the National Baseball Hall of Fame and the Pittsburgh Pirates Hall of Fame. And the last bit of congratulations to go out here. The Pirates over the weekend announcing their Hall of Fame class of 2025. We just talked about Parker being in the Pirates Hall of Fame. 3 new inductees will go into the Bucks Hall of Fame this year. The class of 2025, Kai Collier, Vernon Law, and Al Oliver. So congratulations to those 3 gentlemen and their families. Let me do one more check here, one more sweep through Twitter to see if we got anything new going on before I hop off for the evening. The Bucks here in 15 minutes now, about to get underway in a new series with the Miami Marlins. I'm not gonna, get too high because the Bucks, they're probably in this. They've dug themselves so deep into a hole that it's pretty much impossible for them to get out of. But hey, they just swept a damn good Philadelphia Phillies team. If they go out, they get revenge against a Miami Marlins team that I think they at most took 2 out of 4 against to begin the season. If they can sweep the Fish, they might be on to something here under Don Kelly. I will tell you that much. It is now everywhere. The NFL and everyone else making it official. Nick Chubb, officially a Houston Texan. It is a 1-year, $5 million deal. So he is officially a Houston Texan. I wonder how long it will take before Jermaine Pratt of the Cincinnati Bengals will get picked up as well. Look in here. Let me see if I can pop this up here real quick. Here are just some more pictures today of the golf outing for Cam Hayward. Steelers community relations officially posting this. Cam Hayward held his irons for Impact golf outing. Just trying to look here at the pictures. Looks like we got Brett Kiesel. Not sure who that is. Not sure if it's Jack Sawyer. That might be Logan Lee. I'm going to try my best to figure out who all this is in this picture. That's Rodgers right there. That looks like Joey Porter Sr. right there. Hard to make out who that is, but if I had to guess, that is a current defensive lineman. There's Derek Harmon right there. That looks like Peasy Jr. Possibly Will Howard right there. I wouldn't doubt that's Will Howard. I mean, 6'4", standing next to Cam Hayward. He's almost eye to eye with him. There's Cam right there. Charlie Batch. I think that might be Boz. Chris Boswell right there. Keanu Benton, if I had to guess. Nick Herbig. That's Jack Sawyer, so I think that is Logan Lee over here. Calvin Austin, of course, he's easy to make out here. Struggling to figure out who that is. No idea what that hat is either. Peyton Wilson, Connor Hayward, Pat Fryermuth, Zach Frazier. Struggling to make out who you are, and that's Ben Skoranek. So, hey, out of about, 20 guys here, 25 guys here, I only missed 2. I like to think that's pretty good. Anyway, here, some other pictures here. There's Cam. There's the photo that is circulating everywhere right now. Imagine showing this picture to a Steeler fan just a year ago. DK Metcalf and Aaron Rodgers. Is it going to blow up in the Steelers' faces? Or is that going to be the new power wide receiver QB duo in the NFL? He takes some more looks here, see if anything else is going on. There's another picture that's making the rounds as well. The picture of Mike Tomlin hugging Aaron Rodgers after the Steelers-Jets game last year. Instead, now somebody photoshopped Berg Creative. Shout out Berg Creative, photoshopping those 3 quarterbacks in their new uniforms. We got another milestone celebration anniversary here. The National Baseball Hall of Fame and Museum posting on this date in 1914, Pirates legend Honus Wagner became the first 20th century player to record 3,000 hits. So congratulations on that anniversary there, Bucco fans. Yeah, looking here, looking more at what else is going on, seeing a lot about the TJ Oshie retirement as well. 2018 Stanley Cup champion with the Capitals. We all remember that one. 605 points in 1,010 NHL games. Another thing here, I'm just scrolling past somebody else posting it here. One of those other, wide receiver rumors for the Steelers. Haven't heard anything on like free agents like Amari Cooper or Keenan Allen, but another one that is, making the rounds, and I think it's a joke more than anything, is people saying Brandon Ayuk. I have no doubts that the 49ers may be trying to move him, save a couple bucks here. They got to sleep in the bed that they made, but makes no sense bringing in Brandon Ayuk right now. Coming off an ACL injury, you got DK Metcalf, and he is just not of interest to us Steeler fans anymore. Dove Kleiman, who is probably one of the more aggregating accounts on Twitter for football, posting a picture, an AI picture of Shane Gillis and Drewski in Bengals uniforms, saying that's going to be their defense this upcoming season. That's hilarious. Not sure if this guy was going to scheduled to make any sort of appearances in the upcoming Pirates Marlins series, but Marlins left-handed starting pitcher Ryan Weathers placed on the 60-day IL with a lat strain. I believe Weathers faced the Bucks in the season opener, or the opening series of the season, so he will not face the Bucks this time around. Looking at what else is going on, seeing if there is anything else, and we are going to have a bit of news here. Looks like the Bucks game will not be starting here in 9 minutes. Noah Hiles, Colin Beasley, pretty much all of the Pirates beat writers, all posting at the same time. There is a tarp on the field at PNC Park, so the game will not be getting underway here. Some heavy rain showers expected to roll through Pittsburgh here shortly, I believe. So the game will not be getting underway here at 6:40. Looking here. Jets posting a video today, a hype-up video of Justin Fields in a Jets uniform. That's another thing, too. I mean, we all can look back now that Aaron Rodgers is officially signed, how different things could have gone this offseason if the Steelers got one of their top two options, Fields or Matthew Stafford. I think if you're the Steelers and you actually complete a trade for Matthew Stafford, maybe Cooper Kupp is a Steeler. You have two wide receivers in Cooper Kupp and DK Metcalf. I still think George Pickens would have gotten traded out of here regardless, but very interesting how this offseason could have gone with Adam Schefter tweeting that Aaron Rodgers was the third option for the Steelers behind Justin Fields and Matt Stafford. So, all right, I am not seeing anything else here for today, so that is going to do it for tonight's stream, ladies and gentlemen. Was on here for over an hour tonight. Thank you all for joining me very, very much. For the final time, 5 of you in here right now, thank you for tuning in this evening. Subscribe to the channel, turn on notifications so that you never miss when I am live again. Like, share, and comment on this video. You can do that stuff after the live stream has ended this evening. We are at 404 subscribers now, so thank you to whoever the new subscriber is. Don't think I can see who that is right now. I haven't gotten a notification, but I do see that somebody new has subscribed. Thank you to that beautiful soul that has done so, and thank you to those of you who have tuned in and who have subscribed already. We will be back here tomorrow night around the same start time again, somewhere around 5:30, hopefully, maybe towards 6 o'clock if things are going on. And of course, if there is, massive breaking news, possibly the Steelers finding a new wide receiver too before mini camp begins tomorrow, I will go live as soon as I can with that breaking news or anything else that goes on. So with that, thank you all for joining me here tonight. See you back here tomorrow night. In the meantime, hopefully the Bucs, they won't be in too much of a delay here this evening and that they can get underway here in game 1 against the Fish before not too long. Thank you all for joining me here tonight. Have a good rest of your night. Peace. Let's go, Bucs. Have a good one. See you back here tomorrow.